Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone. With all your arms. Missing someone.
Good morning guys, I hope you're well. If you don't know who I am, my name's Thomas Blakemore. I teach Travel and Sometimes Triumph. This is going to be another teach video. It's going to be quite a different teach video for a range of different reasons. Today is the first day of online learning. Now, as you can see, I'm currently in school. It's 6 AM in the morning and there's not going to be any kids in school today. It's a very different day. I'm going to film a day in the life of a teacher, but it's a very different day in the life of a teacher than normal. So right now I'm in school. It is early, as I said, 6 o'clock, and I need to get a few bits and pieces. Now, I suppose there's three reasons why I'm filming this vlog today. Number one, it's a pivotal moment for my career. I've never done anything like this, as has anyone else really. So it's a very different day for my career, if that makes sense. It's different. Number two, hopefully it's useful to someone. I know a lot of people are about to commence online learning, so maybe it'll be useful to someone out there in the world. And number three, it'll be something to look back on in the future and probably laugh about. I reckon in the not so distant future, online learning might be a bit more popular and I'll probably laugh at the things that I do wrong in this video. So, hi future Thomas. Future Thomas here, and I can confirm this video will be useful. Right, let's get back into it. So, what's my plan today? Well, I fit into this vulnerable bracket of people at the moment because I have asthma. That's why I brought this in today. I wasn't really sure whether I needed to wear it. I don't really know what the proper way is to wear this thing, but I think that's it. There's a very different feel at school at the moment. I'll be completely transparent about that. I think it's perhaps because I know that there's no children coming into school today and there's no one really in school at the moment. I'm the first person to get here this morning and it's just a very different feel. So why am I in school? Well, we've had an immediate 2 weeks off. Those were where the school's closed and sterilised, and now I need to come in and get things ready for the online learning. It's not so much for the online learning, everything's set up, everything's ready to go, and I'll talk to you about that in a little bit. It's to be able to get prepared for next week because there's still other bits and pieces. I need to come and collect some tests, some other bits and pieces, and just sort of generally get prepared. I want to try and get in and out early so that I can leave by the time that the school starts and all the children are online. I want to be home by that time. So I'm hoping to leave here by 7:30 and then be ready at home quite early for the school day to start. So now I'm racking my brains thinking, have I got everything that I need? Have I got all the different bits and pieces that I said that I would come in to get? And to be honest, I haven't got a clue at this point. I feel like my brain's not even working at this time in the morning. So online learning, it's set up, it's all ready to go. It's all through Google Classroom, so everything's scheduled. So as soon as it becomes 8 o'clock, new pieces of work and content will start to come out for the children, each bit at a time. Now, what I need to do as a teacher is be available for the children so that if they have questions and things that they want to understand, that I can answer those questions. I've also said about email contact and things like that for the parents too. So that's the next step for me this morning, is just sort of going home, getting prepared for online learning, making sure I've got my own little space ready, maybe a coffee. That's another win of online learning, I suppose. And so I'm back at home, and the plan of action is as follows. Basically just gonna have some breakfast and then make sure that I've got this area just here set up, ready for everything for the online learning. Immediate problem number one of working from home is that there's an unlimited amount of food and snacks are readily available. So I've got to try and limit the amount that I'm eating today because otherwise I'm going to be the size of a house. So as part of Google Classrooms, there's 6 year groups in year 3. I'm joined into every classroom at the moment. Now, if you can imagine, there's over 100 pupils submitting, adding comments, doing lots of different things. As a result, there are lots of different bits and pieces coming into me through my emails and notifications. So task number 1 is to turn off notifications on all of the classrooms other than my own, so I'm only getting notifications from my children. So as you can see, things are starting to publish. You've got your registers going on there. So other things, notifications popping up left, right and center. So lots of children at the moment are finding it difficult to find work and bits and pieces through the Google Classroom. There's obviously been 2 weeks where children have forgotten how to access things. So even if you show children initially how to access something, obviously there's going to be individuals who struggle to access things or forget things. So that's been a difficulty so far, and just making sure that everyone's aware of how to access the things that are on Google Classroom. The other thing I'm finding quite difficult is that if someone's saying they've got a problem or that they're unable to see something or access something, whereas in a normal computing lesson you're just able to access the work, see what they're getting wrong and just see that problem and solve it there and then, you can't really see what the problem is. So you're just sort of trying to interpret what the problem is and trying to think about that. One thing I have done is just sort of video my voice and just little screencast things if someone's got a problem, just to reiterate how to solve the problem. This is the work of a child at the moment. As you can see, they're just doing bits and pieces. I've typed in a comment down here. They're currently on it at the moment, and that's quite good as well, so I can give that live feedback. Other thought of the day, it's really strange being isolated. Now obviously it's strange being isolated in general, but especially as a teacher, I almost get used to and rely on the conversations with the kids in the mornings. You know, being able to say good morning, one to kids, but also to colleagues. Not having that is really strange. Now, I know we take the mick and sometimes say about, you know, when you pass a colleague in the morning, you just sort of say, morning, and it's just a force of habit. And you don't really mean it sometimes, but now it's like, you really do like rely on those human interactions sometimes, and this is one of those times where that human interaction would actually be really nice, especially when you're just sat looking at a screen, and then when children are commenting and you're just throwing out comments like, welcome back, hope you've had a good holiday. It's much better to have those connections in real life. So there's problem number, I don't know what problem we're on, 56 right now. I've been on the screen for a couple of hours now, usually maybe go on my phone and things like that. I think it's quite important to get out of the house and actually do a little bit of walking, be active during those break times, because otherwise I'm going to end up with actual square eyes. As you can see, it was quite a wet, windy walk. It started raining again. But back now, I'm going to see what the children have been up to. See, the thing with online learning is that it's continuous. So even if you're taking a break, then someone somewhere in the world will still be doing work. So it's still important to be able to get back onto the online learning platform, to be able to look at the work that they've already done, and then set comments, and then check back on work that you've reassigned to children as well. So that's something I'm going to do now. And oh gosh, I'm so wet and sweaty. So I just wanted to show you this. This is what I've been doing on Study Ladder. Now, Study Ladder isn't the only thing that I've been using today, but it's been quite useful. As you can see, the children have completed a range of different activities today, and you can see here that some of the children have found it difficult. Some are in different countries, so we'll complete it as and when they get to it, and then it's marked for me, which is quite nice. So I get that immediate feedback, as do the children. So this is a child's work from today. Now you can see they've actually written it onto paper, so they're still getting that practice of actually writing onto paper using their handwriting, which is quite nice. They've then added it as a photo, and from there I can open it up and see it. Obviously it's a bit blurry because it's through a computer screen. This here is then personalised feedback. So there is something wrong with the causes, so I've just put, can you adjust the causes part? Remember, causes are high when tsunamis happen. Think about the way that earthquakes happen underwater. So just general feedback. So I can then come to that and post it. Once I've done that, then I can then return the work back to the child. So another 2 hours done on the computer screen, looking through work, getting back to emails, lots of other bits and pieces like that basically. I've got a little bit of a headache. It's now lunchtime, and obviously I'm going to eat lunchtime. But as a bit of a break, instead of going outside, I'm just going to read. It'd be quite nice to have some non-screen time. After that, I'm just going to respond to a range of different emails, make sure everyone's understanding of tech and bits and pieces like that, get back to other pieces of work, make sure everything's okay for tomorrow, and then I think I'm going to end the vlog there and explain how today has been. So the academic day is now over, and if I'm completely honest with you, today has been a bit like, as an NQT, you get this first day feeling where you're really excited, want to be able to show off what you've been learning and want to be innovative, but you're also really nervous and feel like you're thrown in at the deep end. There's a mixed range of emotions, and there have been a few problems, but at the same time, it's also been really quite exciting and something that's actually really impressed me in a range of different ways. Firstly, the children understood how to access the work on the most part. They understood how to complete the work, they were able to submit it. There was lots of really good positives. Now, obviously there were problems. I needed to communicate, I needed to make sure I turned off my emails so that I didn't just get 1,000,001 notifications through straight away. There's been some really good positives, and there have been some problems. Hopefully some of the problems that we had today will be rolled over so that in the future we're able to be a bit more fluent and go straight into the learning and be a bit more of a teacher, because in some ways today I felt a bit of a tech support person rather than a teacher, but it's going to happen. So I wanted to give you a few tips just to finish this video off for those of you who are about to transition into online learning as a teacher. Number one is keep things as simple as possible. So today we've only really focused on the 3 different platforms. Google Classroom, where the children had to understand how to use that. We've used Study Ladder, so there are a few login issues there, so that one is now sort of sorted, and Padlet. Now the children were really good with Padlet, and it's quite a simple piece of software to use. Those 3 done. I'm going to include a couple of other resources throughout the couple of weeks, but other than that, that's as simple as you want to keep it, because otherwise you're going to have so many children not really understanding how to log on to this, get confused. It's not going to happen. The second tip I want to give you is to really keep parents on board. Parents at the end of the day are the ones who are with the children all the time. They're most likely to be the ones who are going to be giving support to the children, so you need to make sure that if they're confused with something, you're able to support them too, because keep them on side. They're going to be the ones who are able to support the children when you're not there to support them. So keep them on side. They're going to support you too. It works in both ways. The final tip that I'd like to give you guys is to have a cut-off point. Right now it's 3 o'clock, which obviously isn't the end of the day. So I need to have that cut-off point so that I'm able to go distance myself from that distance learning, but then also have that time to myself so that I'm not just on that computer all the time, so that I can go outside, try and do a little bit of exercise for a run and bits and pieces like that. Hopefully you found this video useful in some way. You've maybe been able to learn a thing or two, think about the ways that you're going to implement online learning, or just generally found it interesting to see what someone else has gone through. If you have, feel free to like the video, that's always really appreciated. I want to also say I've made a range of other online distance learning videos. Now I'm going to leave a link up in one of the corners. Feel free to click on those, guys. They're tips for parents, there's also tips for teachers too, a bit of a mega guide on there as well. If you are new to the channel, I'm going to be making more of these videos talking about my experience as an online educator, basically is what I'm now. So I'm going to be talking about my whole week, and then also creating more tips for parents and children too. So if you feel like having a look at those types of videos, then feel free to subscribe down in the corner. That's always appreciated. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one, but for now, I'm out.